early.
Yo, we're back.
Yes,
For
man.
another episode of Early.
It's been a little hiatus.
A little bit of a hiatus, but much needed break, I feel like.
Niggas were working though, and it wasn't intentional break. So there you go. It was just,
but it was appreciated. I think,
facts.
you know what I'm saying? At least for me, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Let me just make sure everything is recording.
It's been a little minute, y'all.
Now we're good to go.
Almost forgot to do it.
Almost forgot how this thing works. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you're watching Early. It's me, Mac. We got Bruke in here. What do we got going on? Today's Friday, April the 29th.
Lots just happened in the past 2 weeks, man. The playoffs.
Let's but hold on. Before we get into that, if you're here, if you're watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We now have a and we've had it for a little bit, but I don't know if we've like said it, but we got a dedicated Early YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Channel that's dedicated strictly to Early. So make sure you subscribe to that. If you're here, you're probably subscribed to ItsNation TV. That's lit. But we need y'all to go subscribe to Early. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all to subscribe to Early's YouTube channel.
What's up, Kayla? Can you let me know, is the volume good? Is that shit coming across good on the
IG? You know what I'm saying?
That's my lookout right there.
But yeah, man. So we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there as quick as possible. So we need y'all help. Subscribe. Early the morning show on YouTube. I think we talked about doing some kind of like little giveaway or some kind of thing. We got something in the works for you know what I'm saying? For the subscribers as we get down there. But you know what I'm saying? If you're here, definitely, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to Early the morning show on YouTube. Today, follow ItsNation.com. You know what I'm saying?
Follow into fruition.
All of that for sure.
We good.
And then so like let's just get right into it. Today we talking about the playoffs. It's been we haven't done a show since the playoffs have started. You know what I'm saying? It's been a good 2 weeks. So a lot of shit has gone down in the playoffs. A lot of betting opportunities have been there.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? If you guys are into the betting world,
listen to my guy Mac. Keep you dropping.
Bro, there's a lot going on. And then we also got
make your weekends,
shout out Ange. Good morning, Ange. We also got and then we're gonna talk about some NFT stuff. We're definitely gonna talk about Elon Musk buying Twitter. That was a big deal. Literally, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into that, but let's start with the NBA playoffs, man.
What matchup, man?
So tonight, you know what I'm saying? Let's start with last night. Last night, basically everybody that was on, right? You said what?
Suns advanced,
Sixers advanced, and who else was it? The Suns, the Sixers, and the Jazz. No, the Mavericks. The Mavericks beat the Jazz to advance. So all that's left is tonight's game with Minnesota and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, man.
So Timberwolves, Grizzlies.
There's gonna be some wholesale changes in Utah. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that. It's just not working there.
It's just not working there. You know what I'm saying? So
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, arguably the two most important pieces of that team, don't get along. You know what I'm saying? Like they're open about it.
Crazy statistic too, right? Like
Donovan Mitchell doesn't pass to Rudy Gobert.
Passed to him like 30 times the whole season.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa,
which is like 1% of like the time that they share on the court.
But it
makes no sense. But you know, the game that they won on the game winner was literally an alley-oop from Donovan Mitchell to Rudy Gobert. That was interesting.
Hey, because I don't got no emotions with this shit, bro.
You gotta win. You know what I'm saying?
But
they couldn't get it done overall. Shit. The only team that got swept in the first round was Brooklyn. Did anybody see that coming?
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, no. Damn, I wish there was a fucking. What would the fucking
the odds on that
have been? Would have kicked out, right? Like off the top, like yo, this
that was probably the closest like the two teams were matched up. At least like the people thought that was going to be the closest series. Like people thought that was going to go to 7. Right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn didn't win not one game. You know Kyrie had one game where he balled out.
You see this little tweet barrage? He's like, hold up, man. I can't wait to see motherfucker with
What he
nigga
said?
like Stephen A. goes. He had a whole load. He's like, we gonna address that shit tomorrow. You should check his tweets and the breaking type shit. We could definitely check it.
Okay.
But he definitely he ain't want to leave it quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't just leave it on the L. He was like, hold up, y'all playing with my name. So let me say some
word.
shit. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, like, Kyrie did what he could. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas need to like everybody kind of underperformed, but Kyrie had, the first game, I think he had like 34 points. I mean, KD just didn't really show up the whole. I mean, KD, I think the last game had like 39, but
I think
it was
that nigga was.
late.
I think he definitely not gonna speak on. I don't think that nigga was 100%. To be honest with you,
KD.
I don't. I think he was also, for carrying a load for the whole season. By the time that shit got to the playoffs, I don't think he was all the way 100. But I don't think he was. He ain't gonna say it.
Bruke,
he ain't gonna say it.
Come on, like
bro,
he's not the only star that had to carry a load the whole season.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, but that's not the main.
Niggas were
that's
built
not
to
the main
play
reason.
in the playoffs.
The main reason is like y'all niggas never got to gel. So when it came to playoffs, the Celtics are fucking 5 years, bro. These niggas.
Oh, these niggas
it's over. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown, they come into their own now. Like
they're
now
coming into their own. This nigga Marcus Smart.
Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing.
Marcus Smart is like coming to his that nigga is really a factor. You know what I'm saying?
He the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? He's like the real Swiss Army knife of that team where you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who, you know what I'm saying, could, take the reins if they need to. But Marcus Smart is a real X factor that I kind of noticed all season, just because there were stretches when I was betting on Marcus Smart because he was hitting his numbers like consistently.
All types of
like he would,
right.
And his numbers are low because he's Marcus Smart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So his shit would be like get 4 assists.
Taking it all the time.
You know what I'm saying? His line would be like 4 assists. His line would be like 1.5 threes. Like very simple lines that he would crush those. But I mean, speaking of lines, I definitely got some things I'm looking at in tonight's playoff game with Minnesota and Memphis. So Memphis is favored by 1.5 in that game. I'm not gonna hold you when it comes to like the playoffs. I haven't really been fucking with the spreads like that. I mean, I have. I actually like been recording my fucking wins and losses. So I'm 10-7 since the playoffs started, which is a decent record.
Right.
Actually, it's a pretty good record. You know what I'm saying? Anything over like 500, 500 is pretty good.
Facts.
But when it comes to the NBA spreads, I feel like it's hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? These teams get to know each other better after every game. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like what happened in the previous game isn't that great of an indicator of what might happen in the next game. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of been staying away from spreads specifically. I mean, I've also been focusing on baseball. Baseball has been great lately, bro. I'm like 6-3 this week in baseball. It's completely statistics. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every time we talk about like what I'm betting on, it's new because like I'm following the statistics. I never paid attention to baseball.
But that got to be more so statistic more than any other part of that you play, because it's like you're like probably I don't watch this shit.
I don't watch it at all.
The numbers is all I have.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we'll get into that in another episode. Today's about the playoffs. But no, there's some player props that I like. If you guys are into player props, these are kind of some leans that I have. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna bet on these because I haven't been watching the games, but these are based on the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going by numbers. So a player prop that I like is Brandon Clark, who plays for Memphis. I like his over 14.5 points. It's -124 odds.
Okay.
I like that because he's hit it in 3 straight games. You know what I'm saying?
Why not
3 out of 5 this series, and his numbers have improved, or his minutes have gone up.
Write it down, y'all.
Have you been peeping how like Steven Adams has not played at all this series? Like he played the first game for like 3 minutes and hasn't really played at all this whole series.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been watching the games too crazy, but now when you mention it, you're right. And
no factors.
It's funny sometimes.
You don't even hear his name.
Because sometimes they realize within a certain matchup, you are almost rendered
your liability.
Exactly. Like in the next series,
like Cat was killing him in the first game,
because
or in the in the regular season. You know what I'm saying?
Because Cat,
he's a matchup problem for a
much
nigga.
Credit
like
to Cat, because did not come in the league like that. This is the reigning 3-point champion.
Yeah,
and as you see, like the shit that surprised me this season, the way he plays off the perimeter and gets to the basket is kind of like alarming in a good way. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa. So Steven Adams literally has to be a perimeter defender,
Yeah.
and that's not going to work. Who's gonna get his help side?
Yeah.
He's the help. So
Yeah.
like, if you got your help out there,
Facts.
who's helping?
Yeah.
If this dude Carl was finishing, but then
And he can bring it out to the three.
when
You know what I'm saying?
and then
He
when they
stretches
switch
the
it
floor.
up, like how you had
And
noticed,
Steven Adams can't really get out there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
when they play that small ball, it gets real hectic for
Yeah.
Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's definitely had some dud games too.
Oh yeah, like this
It's
series he's had
50-50.
some
50-50 this series
yeah.
for sure.
I feel like the guy this series for Minnesota at least has been Anthony Edwards, if it's anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because even
man.
D'Angelo Russell has.
That
I think
boy-
D'Angelo Russell had one game where he hit his line, which has
That
usually
boy
been at like
loaded.
16, 17 points.
That's crazy. You say yeah, one game. It's like nigga said on the tweet. Nigga said on the tweet. It's so crazy because you know his handles deloading. They're like, this dude's been loading for 7 years. Like, this nigga never
Straight
came
up.
down.
But it's like it's
That's
crazy
good
because
though, but like,
people was,
you know,
even-
that's it.
people was expecting him to kill this series because all season long, I don't think he had anything less than 30 points against Memphis all season
Oh,
long.
word, okay.
Yeah, like he was
Okay.
killing Memphis
He
all
had a
season
clutch
long.
moment, I know,
And
earlier
then
in the
this
season.
this
He hit a
series,
little
he had
three.
one
That
game
was
where he went for
clutch.
like 25,
Right,
27,
right.
something like that. But other than that, he's
He hasn't
been kind of
been hitting.
non-existent.
So you're just
So
saying,
I'm like, hey, if
stay
y'all
away
are
from that.
or play his unders, you know what I'm saying? You could play his under, you could play his under points. You could play his under rebounds. I was looking at that. I think he only hit his rebound line once this series.
Word.
So you can play his unders. Another guy that I'm looking at. So I like again, like I said, I like Brandon Clark's either his points or his PRAs, which is points, rebounds, and assists. He's hit that as well in 3 out of 5 games this series.
Okay.
But again, he didn't play much. He didn't play as much as he's been playing in the first 2 games of the series because they were still trying out Steven Adams. Steven Adams has literally got no burn in the last like 3 or 4 games of the series. So niggas like Brandon Clark, niggas like Jaren Jackson. Like I like Jaren Jackson's over rebounds. You know what I'm saying? His rebound line is at 5.5. I like that. At minus 140 odds, he's hit that in 3 out of 5 games this series.
These are plays, y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, write them down. Yeah, and then the last one I would say that I like is Ja Morant's rebounds. Ja Morant, again, this goes back to Steven Adams being on the bench. Like he's not. I mean, he's having to grab more boards. You know what I'm saying? Since Steven Adams not there. Same with Jaren Jackson. So I like their over in rebounds because they've been hitting it in the last 3 out of 5 games this series. Minnesota, I don't know. Like, do you see them winning this game? They're
I think
1.5 point underdogs. Like, how do you feel about this series?
Honest, so you know myself, I'm not necessarily on the betting on the sports.
Not from a betting standpoint.
No, but
just
still,
even from like
but still, just because it correlates with exactly how I'm viewing it, right?
Okay.
So like tonight, I think the Timberwolves are winning today.
Yeah.
I think they're winning that.
Yeah.
Don't think the
It
Grizzlies
is
are
in
about
Minnesota.
Yeah, don't think the Grizzlies are about to close, and I think the Grizzlies should. That's wrong. Should definitely be on their toes. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
On their toes.
I felt that way early in the series. I feel like
Minnesota
I feel like Memphis is starting
this series up.
Yeah,
they
had
won
bro.
the series.
They won the first game.
Yeah,
they won the first game of the series.
It should have been over low key. Really, like Memphis has played bad.
They did play bad.
They played bad. They've had moments.
And every game has been super close.
They've dug it out, and they've had runs.
All the games have been decided by 1 or 2 or 3 points, except for the first game.
Minnesota
I think it was a blowout.
Had a game, they had 2 20-point leads in the same game. That was crazy.
Yeah,
you don't see that.
Yeah,
like, especially in playoffs.
Yeah.
So but when I look at the matchups, I'm like, yo, this doesn't favor the Grizzlies. Like, and it's so funny because if you get past this round, the matchup at least you get a little bit more in y'all favor, but it's like you have a harder
Minnesota would play. Yeah, Minnesota or whoever wins this series will play the Warriors.
Exactly, but that's like a style of ball where the Grizzlies are like, bet like we can. It's weird. It's like y'all got firepower, but on our size, it match up well. Just like what you said with like a Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Steve Adams is a part of our game plan. We cannot play this dude at all. Like, okay, we have to just change shit up now.
Yeah.
So with the Warriors doing a lot of things on the fly.
A new opportunity.
Right. And their talent definitely like getting them there. But Wolves are just dropping the ball. Like this is like, yo.
Which is why I'm like, I don't think they win the series. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was theirs for the winning and they've already squandered that opportunity. But also, like, you know, if they win tonight,
I feel like
who
it's
knows?
house money for them. where
Yeah.
people were like house money for the Grizzlies too, but
Yeah.
not so much because
But not
y'all
so much.
talked
They're
a
number
lot
2 seed.
and y'all talked a lot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yo,
They had I think
show and
maybe
prove.
going into the season they didn't have many expectations, but going
By
into the
the end of it-
playoffs,
by
I
the
think
end of
they
it,
had
did.
a lot of
By the end it, they
expectations.
did.
But going back to what you're saying about a better matchup for the Timberwolves if they face the Warriors, I just think in general, like Warriors are probably the best team in the playoffs right now. Like I don't see the Timberwolves doing anything with the Warriors if they have to beat them.
Because the surgence of Jordan Poole, bro,
Oh my God,
that's
Jordan
like
Poole,
that kind of made me be like, because
yo,
was like,
do you be seeing this shit on Twitter? Like Clay's had it with Jordan Poole.
I didn't see those. I could just imagine. Like,
oh, there was
hilarious.
somebody hit it. Somebody hit that clip with oh my God, I can't remember that movie.
They put the faces over like the actual movie.
No,
type shit.
but they didn't put the faces over. But it was like this is Clay in the locker room, and it was
Nice.
What the fuck is that movie? When I want to say it's like the Temptations movie when somebody's replacing somebody's like doing all his moves. He's like, nigga, these are my moves.
Right,
like,
right. Yeah,
it was like, you think you're gonna get me out of here? I'm like, yo, Clay, look. And then there was a clip when Clay was wide open, like looking for the ball, and Jordan Poole was just doing all this extra shit. And Clay's like, man, like on the court, like looking blown. I'm just like, oh, it's funny, but I think it's jokes. You know what I'm saying? I think the team as a whole, they need all those pieces. Like they're all coming together. Clay was even killing this series. You know what I'm saying?
Never get to the basket like Jordan. Come on now.
Yeah, like, Jordan Poole presents a different skill set, and like that second, he's been starting. But that's because Steph is still kind of coming back from injury.
Wiggins. That's your true third.
Wiggins?
That's your true third scoring option. And that's
scoring option. Yeah.
That sense
but Wiggins can actually like play the three. I don't feel like Jordan Poole can play
I'm not saying
I feel like you can't. I feel like it's rare where you can have Clay, Jordan, and Steph on the court at the same. And I mean, unless you're playing like small ball, then you have Andrew with the four.
Season as well too. Clay's first full off season to Jones, shit like that. They're definitely gonna figure out how that fucking line up all together. And then when James what's his name? Wiseman comes back as well too.
Is he like really nice? I be hearing about him a lot, but I haven't really like seen.
I don't know about that, but I just know he's young, and you know he could. If you look at the Warriors' previous system years past, you know they had the Bogut, they had the Zaza Pachulia. Like that's actually way better of a player at that
he's
position
like
you ever
one
had.
of those guys.
He's not like he's better than those guys.
He's better than
and
those
with
guys.
the system that they got established, that's all you need.
He should be able to fit in well. Yeah, I hear that. Okay, we gonna that's the sports talk right there. So then we gonna come back and get into some NFT. Early. Do you feel like the whole Elon buying Twitter thing relates to like NFT blockchain world? Do you feel like those?
No.
I don't think I've even heard like Elon Musk's thoughts on the blockchain.
Oh, he's
like
NFT
he's culture.
Tweeted. I don't know about NFTs. He's definitely had thoughts about blockchain.
I now that I'm thinking about it,
he's poked fun at Web 3.0.
Yeah, because he was on the whole Dogecoin thing. Like,
yeah, but he's poked fun heavy at Web 3.0.
Yeah.
Just cut off some way. You guys thinking something is so revolutionary, like like something, on that type of tangent. But nah, I think
nigga's trying to go to space. He's like he's playing a different game. Like, I'm not even trying. He's like doing that.
Right.
So it's like he's playing a different. He's building underground railroads.
And it's kind of like off some writing on the walls. He's like, he didn't notice.
Yeah. Exactly. He's like, okay. He's like, okay, yeah. Web3. I was talking about this in 2000. You know what I'm saying? But whether either way, like so what that deal got done for what 44 billion?
Yeah, something it was so like crazy because somebody's like, I think it was like 41 billion. I was like, no, bro, it's very important we don't leave those 3 billion.
3 billion. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, it was 44.
It's a lot of fucking money because you know what's funny? Like this whole thing,
like they would have been like 41.
This whole thing kind of spawned like this conversation of like. You know, Elon Musk says, like people are always trying to tell billionaires what to do with their money. So it's like I started hearing stuff about like, you know, with all that money, you could, you know, end homelessness and you can end world hunger and like, like stuff like that. Which but also too, that's neither here nor there. I feel like it has nothing to do with him trying to acquire a company, but like that raised questions because somebody said, or I saw on Twitter that he was willing to donate like somebody said it would take like $6 billion to like end world
Yeah, and
hunger
he
or
was
like to
actually
fight
willing to
world
do
hunger.
that.
And he said he was
Yeah,
willing to do it if
do
he could
that.
see a plan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
like that just goes to show like, okay, like this nigga's got $6 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got $6 billion
Right.
to buy a company and do that. And then, you know what I'm saying, the $3 billion. So it's like we think about like $3 billion. That's a lot. That's a shit ton of money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I
And
guess
the difference between 41 billion and 44 billion is
and I was more so interested
pretty
in terms of
substantial.
like it's like the significance of the move, because what it really, I feel like the way to view it is more so is like Twitter, these social media outlets. If you peep at like how a lot of some of these, well, I mean, I say a lot, but some of these billionaires are moving, is like you have to control exactly where the news is coming out of, or like if you have control of that, like you can, how do I say? I don't want to say like increase power, but it's more so it's like that's the play. Like back in the day, you had your CNN, your MSNBC, Fox. This is exactly how the world got informed. And nowadays, it seems like Elon is on the side of, well, I don't fuck with people being censored. So like, and that's a matter of ownership. Because like, if I actually own this shit, then it's like, well, I can probably go about this shit how I wanted to, or like make this type of a product, I don't know, live up to what the fuck it's supposed to be. Because, you know, it's so funny. I even feel like Twitter's original purpose, like what it came out as, is not what it is now. Like it's definitely evolved. Like, and it's definitely
really. I feel like Twitter's probably the only social media platform that looks like what it was when it came out.
Well, if you're talking on a UI thing, I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm talking about literally
No, I'm
news.
not talking
News
about
was not a news.
I'm not talking necessarily about the interface. I'm talking about like what people use it for. Like,
nah, but then, well, yeah, 09.
just to get their thoughts
Oh,
off.
2009. But I'm saying news, though. It's deeper
News?
than thoughts. I'm talking about people getting informed through Twitter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally how I learn about the world,
Mhm.
events, what's happening. Fuck just thoughts of people. Like I literally get informed through here. I don't even
Mhm.
watch news. Like you can even follow a fucking weather app on Twitter. Like
Mhm.
I don't use it. So for that aspect, it's like, well, and if you look at even like Jeff Bezos, he acquired Washington Post. Like he should definitely got Twitter. Like you feel me? Like, but
All
they
these
they
niggas
know
need
they
a
know the
play in the
vibe. Like they
media.
know the vibe. It's like, yo, the media company, bro. The media influences a
Yeah.
lot
Everything.
of how shit goes, especially like public opinion. So have that shit, you know. So it's definitely a fucking power play. And now I'm just interested to see. And then you see that shit jumped. You know that stock fucking
The stock
jumped.
price
Yeah.
jumped up.
Twitter. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It jumped up. Yeah. When that shit happened.
Yeah. No, I think I think it's a great move for even Twitter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know. I'm an Elon Musk believer. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, like, I definitely saw like people on Twitter saying like, oh, should we leave the app and like, is it fuck Twitter now? Like people saying, I'm like, why would it be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Elon Musk taking over something like, or just buying something like Twitter. I mean, I don't know, man.
I was like, so you love Jack?
Yeah, you know
And-
so
and-
you love
and-
Jack
and-
Dorsey,
like, I didn't-
right?
it's
Like, you know what I'm
and I know
saying?
he just got out, and it's like,
Yeah.
but still, it's like, yo, y'all don't care. Stop.
Y'all really don't care. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
that's really what
and
it
we're not
is.
gonna, and like any changes that we see, it's not necessarily going to just be like, oh, Elon Musk is responsible for that change. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like he might be. Who knows? It remains to be seen, like what kind of like imprint he decides to have on, you know, the route that Twitter continues to take. But like that remains to be seen. I feel like he's buying the company for reasons that have nothing to do with like our day-to-day use of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, everybody wants to have some kind of like control of a media. Like the first thing Donald Trump did after his presidential office ended was try to start a media company. You know, like literally, so that's the first thing you try to do.
You
like,
know the focus of exactly
everybody,
where, like, yo, bro,
everybody
you
knows
need
something.
The media,
you know what I'm saying?
and able to get whatever type of message or whatever it is, or enable people to say whatever the fuck they want. If you have that power, you can enable that to happen. You know, so it's very interesting when you see like that looks like the premise throughout that type of space.
It's the play to make. You know what I'm saying? It's the play to make for folks when they want to when
Mahadi, what's up?
I feel like also too when I feel like some of these people that we're talking about, like they've been victim to the media saying whatever they want about them. You know what I'm saying? I don't, maybe victim is not the right word. but like, you know what I mean? Like they fall in subject to like the media kind of crafting their own narratives around the things that they
come
do
with the territory
and who they
right?
are.
Like,
No,
right.
100%. If you're
Right.
in the public eye, that's gonna happen. But like, you know, somebody that's a regular celebrity could take it lying down, and then somebody else could start their own media company.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you know what I
just
mean?
kind of funny. It's just like people don't actually care until they're aware of some shit, and then their awareness in themselves is not long lasting. So it's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. This is not something that is truly a matter to you. You'll continue to use the service that you're actually scolding,
Yeah.
and then you'll actually forget about this whole ownership shit. As long as your experience
As
is
long
not
as your
actually
experience doesn't
affected,
change
right?
and
That's
doesn't get
how.
negatively
That's
affected. And I mean,
for the most
look at
part. For the most part, that's how our
Instagram,
consumers
bro.
are gonna act. You
like
know?
when Facebook bought Instagram, it was the same kind of chatter. Like Instagram's going to shit, but like, I mean, and some could say that Instagram isn't as good as it used to be, but it's as booming as it ever has been. You know what I'm saying? Like the usage is more than it's ever been. So it's like, what is it? Do y'all not like it or do y'all like it? Like,
as long as
and
it's
even if
still-
you don't like it, like, are you still gonna use it or not? Because you could not like it and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, still be
100%.
you know, a slave to it, I'll even say,
No,
because
that's
you know, Instagram's got that kind of hold.
That's
on
a
people.
crazy paradox, right? When
is.
we use the shit that it's like, you know, necessary evil, some would call it. Like it's like, oh, but you're still using the shit. So what's
Yeah.
that about?
Yeah. Let's take a little commercial break,
Yeah,
and
some
then we will
NFT
be
talk, some digital
right back.
asset talk.
For sure.
Make sure my vocals right. Make sure the beat right. Welcome to the 5th show.
Time to cuff.
Powered by ItsNation TV.
ItsNation TV.
That's why I try to get in line.
Play, execute, have fun, dub.
I can do a lot more than what I think I can.
What's goody, everybody? This is Bruke Fasil, and you are now tuned into Early, the morning podcast, where we talk about a multitude of different topics, where you're bound to hear something that's of interest to you as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to ItsNation TV. If you're catching this on Facebook, go ahead and like, go ahead and comment, engage with us, and you can go ahead and follow me at Bruke Fasil, and you can follow my Brody Mac at ItsNation.com.
Y'all know I make a lot of podcasts, and every podcast needs a website. Literally, I've tried to put all of my podcasts on one website, ItsNation TV, but I've definitely gotten to a point where I've realized that in order for each podcast to grow individually on its own, each podcast needs its own website. And the easiest way to make a website for your podcast is on podpage.com. Like, literally, it's the easiest way to make a website for your podcast. Like, dog, I'll do it right now. Like, literally. All you got to do is go to podpage.com. You know what I'm saying? If you got your podcast on Apple Podcasts, you literally type the name of your podcast in. You know what I'm saying? You type in the email for your account, and boom, it literally, dog, I don't know how it does it. It's magic. It literally pulls up a bunch of different website templates from your podcast. And that's not even the crazy part. What's crazy is all of this is free. They got different tiers. They got a pro tier, they got a basic tier, then they got the free tier. You know what I'm saying? The pro tier is definitely the way to go if you're taking your podcast seriously. But like with all of the tools that podpage.com gives you, it's well worth the bread, like well worth the bread that it is. Check the link in the description to get started with podpage.com. It's literally going to be the best thing you've done for your podcast.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we're back.
We are.
So we getting into some NFT talk. There's been a lot of interesting projects dropping lately. VeeFriends did their second
Series
version,
2.
their series 2, they're calling it, which was wildly successful. I was telling you the other day, bro, I'm still sick that I missed out on the first VeeFriends. Like,
Right.
sick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sick. Like,
Yeah.
only because it's literally everything that I would have invested in when it comes to NFTs.
You weren't somebody that needed to be convinced on something like that.
I did not
You
be
didn't
I
bite on
I
it.
did not need to be convinced about it. And the thing is, I remember when it was like when Gary V was like, I remember when he had his like
I remember we talked about it on the
into
show.
NFT moment, like, oh, he's in NFTs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that because we were well into it, and then I follow his content,
Right.
so I started hearing him talk about it. And
Right.
then, fast forward like maybe a month, and he's talking about, I'm working on something NFT related. So already my antenna was up, like, oh, like, let me see what he's got going on. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or let me see what he's talking about. So he started saying like May 5th. I think that's his birthday, or like May something. So, he just kept saying this date, like, this date, you want to have 1 ETH in your wallet because I'm dropping something and blah, 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 blah. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm like kind of preparing for it.
Right.
But at this time, I had bought a couple other NFTs like right before this. And I was like waiting to see what those did before I kind of like did anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting back waiting to see what those do. And I just pass on the whole, like, you know what I'm saying? Like May 5th comes and goes, and I'm just like, whatever. Like, I didn't get it. The same, there's a lot of times when I have my eye on an NFT and I just don't get it for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt like it was one of those things.
Right.
But no, like that like out of all the things that I ever saw, that joint, what is the floor now? Like 30 ETH or something like that for those things? Like,
yeah.
And the mint price was 1. It's not even just that the mint price was 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes I hear like, oh, like the mint price of Bored Ape was blah blah, but I wasn't even like I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? I was literally like, Bored Ape was not on my radar. So like, it didn't matter what the mint price was. I wasn't gonna get one because I didn't know about it.
Right.
The V Friends joint I knew about, I saw it, I passed. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like that's what makes me sick. But I mean, you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And then so his series 2, that long story to say that, series 2 dropped. But we were talking about the Moonbirds joint. That's like, this seems to be the hottest project right now. Did over $1 million in sales in its first week? You know what I'm saying? Which I think was a record.
No,
Or some resales, or what?
not way. Did $1 million in a couple hours.
Oh, I said first week.
Yeah.
I was like, did I have my numbers wrong?
Yeah.
No facts.
No, it's over $1 billion. Over $1 billion went.
Over $1 billion has gone through Moonbird.
Yeah, I think today.
And it's been out for what?
A week. 150,000 Ethereum. 150,000 Ethereum went in, and you were just talking about
mind-boggling.
You talk about the Gary V, and it's interesting because that kind of just speaks to a point where what's to say what happens with the project when the particular person or persons running the actual project are people that are from a particular space, not just business. Because there's a couple people,
but they
have business acumens running NFT projects that are not about to make you money, like in any type of terms, or have still yet to make anybody money. But when
I was more speaking about like the reputation, like the reputation that they have in business, because I think you can be a good business person, but your reputation is not gonna. Like like these guys have these kind of reputations of like, I want to be a part of with it. Like they've been a part of so many hits that like, I just want to be a part of their thinking. I want to be a part of their like zeitgeist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, not every business person, even if you've had success running businesses or acquiring businesses or whatever, even if you've had some success, there's not many people that have reputations like these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I was pointing
to. No, for sure. No, I agree. It's definitely particular for these people because these are like considered people that have been early to shit or have been innovative with their things, right? Like, so Kevin Ross more so on the innovative side, and like Gary V more so on the look. I just know when a thing is.
I feel like Kevin Rose is not even an innovator. He's more of maybe in a different way. He's like a venture capital guy. Like invested in some of these businesses and took them from good to great. With capital,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
So basically, these people's type of track records have some type of correlation with how people view in the NFT space. They're like, oh, if that's the buy-in price for like a Gary V, if 1 ETH is the buy-in price, or with the Kevin Rose project, if 7K, so about 2.5 ETH is the buy-in price. If you actually know what these people have actually done, you would understand that these buying prices to be part of the ecosystem might be the deal. And then you see with Moonbirds at 2.5, that shit rolled up to 40 ETH. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that shit's riding up. Literally, your 7K would have netted you about like 130, 140K in 1 week.
In 1 week. You know what I'm saying? That's the key part here. It's
exactly. And it wasn't drop off. It wasn't like boom and now it's gone. Like, no, the floor is kind of maintained. It's like about like a 35, 36 ETH floor. So there's definitely, and now again, like have you seen a lot of these projects actually thrive with having a team that's not doxxed, and that basically means they're anonymous, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't some money to make or that it's not worthwhile NFT to have. But now you're starting to see it's like, this is the next phase, this next win. There's definitely going to be people that are coming into the space like, yo, I'm about to just use this method as another channel to have people like come into, you know what I'm saying? Hey, give them an opportunity because I don't need to convince anybody. Like they will literally want to just be a part of whatever it is that I got going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the type of shit that we're seeing. And it's funny too, just the amount of liquidity that just come into a project at that price. You're like, yeah, this is not just the everyday consumer just coming up on here. This is definitely people. It's like, yeah, Moon out 50 bands. Yeah, sure. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people that are buying a Moon out,
I think
they're not trying to flip. Like that's another thing too. They're like, yo, bro, I bought this for 100K. Like, what
business people that like want to be friends with Gary Vee
Yeah,
or want to be friends with Kevin Rose. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like this is their way of like building that relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's I'm gonna say I kind of saw it that way as far as like the V Friends joint. It was like when I was out, because you know, being a follower of Gary Vee's like honestly, somebody like Gary Vee is somebody who is the kind of person that got me to think the way that I do now. Like I got a real high regard for him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a worshiping type of thing, but it's really like I got a lot of respect for just like how he moves, because it's literally kind of shaped how I move. You know what I'm saying? In a time where I came across him and his content, where like I was really kind of like trying to find myself and trying to find like what the fuck it is I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So it really just spoke to me at the right time. So that kind of connection, it was like, oh, if he had a project that like I can now have access to him, because you know with his V Friends, they come with utility, like, you know, once a quarter you can get a FaceTime with him, or like once a year certain people who have certain joints can like meet him for dinner and like shit. Like you can literally like meet the guy. You know what I'm saying? So like some people are really just like getting these NFTs so they can have access to them for the little bit of time it is, because also that's a flex in itself. Like, yeah, I'm about to go have dinner with Gary Vee. Even if I do it one time a year, you know what I'm saying? There's like that's something you can say, you know what I'm saying? You can flex with. So you think about the person that would want to flex with that. It is like CEOs of companies, like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, even like it's some of the most like wealthy and powerful people in the world that are like, you know, I saw The Rock with Gary Vee. I want to be with Gary Vee too. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my chance. So like,
you want to be invested in the brand. That's
exactly.
That's you know, not everybody has opportunity to be a stockholder of particular
people
so,
and personalities and shit like that. And again, and that's kind of what makes it different from the artists who are dropping NFTs, because like the utility is not access to them, or at least I haven't seen anything like that thus far. Big ones. I'm not going to say like the Blows and I mean, I don't know how big Blau was before the NFT world, but I did not know who he was before it. So I'm saying like somebody who's like a Gary Vee, somebody who's like a Kevin Rose, who are like
Snoop's doing this thing.
Snoop
doing this thing right
now. But what kind of like utility or access does he give people with his?
His utility has just been enabling other artists in the landscape to eat with him. Like he just dropped his second sound.xyz mixtape, and he featured a lot of the artists that have been in this space. Just you know what I'm saying. So now they're sharing royalties and that based off that name.
So he's making music with like people who are in the space,
making mixes. Yeah, exactly. Right. So not necessarily like getting on songs with him, but just leveraging his shit. You know what I'm saying, for that.
There's a real benefit
for sure,
and a real value to be gained from like owning his NFT.
Yeah. Some artists are doing like little token gated type of things as well too, like, you know, you want to have the BTS, the exclusive content, this shit that I'm not really releasing on the media. Then buying of my NFTs enables you to have access to these other channels. So some artists are going about some shit like that too, and that's cool. Like especially if you got traction in that way, it's definitely a cool thing to do too. So but yeah, like there's all types. I mean, I think in terms of the innovation, in terms of like what you can utilize with the NFT, that shit's gonna just keep on growing. It's gonna keep on growing. It kind of just refurbished my whole mind in terms of how I want to approach this space. Like it's really Like if you could be really thoughtful with how you do some shit, like you could really entice somebody to want to, fuck with your project. So definitely a little cool perspective that now that I like keep in mind when I be creating. I'm like, damn, if I were to like, if I'm thinking about building something like long lasting longevity, making people also feel like, yeah, man, like I want to see what the outcome is, shit like that. It's so funny. It's like I never even necessarily thought about that, but now that I do, I'm like, it just makes me think differently. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Let me see how I can push the box or some shit.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Is there is there any other projects that are out there? Oh, did you hear about the
So this Saturday, right? You about to talk about the Board 8 Meadowland? The
no,
metaverse?
not
Oh,
even,
other
but what's
side,
that?
yeah. So the Board 8, they are coming with their official third mint ever. You know what I'm saying? The first mint was the Board 8.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was like the 20K of the mutated.
Mm-hmm.
For the people that didn't convert using their serum, and everything else has been like airdrops.
Mm-hmm.
And this Saturday they're dropping the metaverse lands of the metaverse parcels. I think it's about a run of like 70,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be
Parcels of land.
yeah, little metaverse
Yeah.
land and shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting, but it's another opportunity to get into the ape ecosystem, and that shit's crazy because it's literally they can literally say, look,
It could change your life.
if you came in and you didn't leave,
It could change
you'd
your
be
life.
happy.
But the
like,
thing
that's
is, I
literally what
feel
they
like
can
these
say. That's
joints
so
now
crazy.
they meant for a lot more now. Like a lot are asking.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you
So
buy
now the
into
mint's not
something
going to be.
established.
What was Board
The
Apes like?
mint's gonna be
0.1 or
around.
something.
The mint's gonna be around 2 ETH.
2 ETH. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the buying price
Even
is a
the
little.
clones, the artifact clones, when
Yeah.
they finally came out, that Dutch auction was sort of 3 ETH.
Yeah. But it's I get it's an investment for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like you can
Make the right
some
one.
of these blue chip projects, you know what I'm saying, like are investments, you know what I'm saying. And if you are in one that's kind of like proven, tested, like a Board 8, I'm gonna kind of say you got nothing to worry about as far as the value going up. People want to be a part of the ape
Yeah,
ecosystem.
man. Floor price,
you know what I'm saying?
440K.
People want to be a
mutated,
part of the ape ecosystem.
140K.
I actually saw something really cool with Board 8, bro. Like, so with the Board Apes, it allows people to like do shit with their apes and like make shit with their apes. I saw somebody. Have you seen the that restaurant,
Yeah.
that burger joint in Cali? Oh, you were just in Cali. You
Yeah,
didn't go to it, did you?
No,
That would have been crazy.
but yeah,
That'd have been cool.
that's,
Because then I was like literally thinking like, oh, the next time in Cali, I gotta go to this joint because it looks cool. Like it looks lit. Like it looks like a
Yeah,
dope
I
place to
mean,
like
yeah.
check out. You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
Somebody just put their shit to work.
And
That's
that,
what you
yeah,
gotta do.
100%,
They're like, yo, this is
100%.
what you can
And
do.
then I think in there you could pay with like ape coin. I don't think you can pay with cash. I think you can only pay with like bit, like USDT.
Yeah, that's the same
and like
thing,
ape coin.
That's the same thing with this drop this weekend. When you want to buy the other side, you have to have ape.
Yeah.
You gotta have ape coin, or you can't buy
Yeah.
it.
Oh shit. Speaking of ape coin, in
All their merch.
a time where alts are down, or they've been down. I don't know what they've been doing, but I definitely saw like ape coin was
No, yeah,
up there like $20.
No, it's
up.
It was doing a slow run.
Yeah.
It's doing a slow run for sure. Yeah, because everybody, you need that shit to literally do anything with the ecosystem. Like,
in the ape ecosystem,
literally,
really,
like, yeah, like if you wanted to buy all the fucking merch that they
Yeah.
have on their site,
you
that's
can
like the
only pay
equivalent
with ape
of like
coin.
80K in ape.
Really,
Yeah, you can only pay in ape.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that, but I do have a little ape coin because
It's interesting though, right? Because they're like,
Yeah.
we don't care for liquidity in that way. Just give us our coin.
It's like
our
we're
token, right?
we're us. You know what I'm saying? Like we are a community. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we're about to build our own infrastructure.
What up,
You know what
bro?
I'm saying? Like keep your USDCs and all that type of
Shit's
shit.
crazy.
Like we're us. Like ape in. Is that what they say?
Yeah,
Like
facts,
you know what
man.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nah, it's interesting to see like what's gonna happen with that shit, bro. I feel like yeah, man, this
people have kind of
so much shit going on,
People have
bro.
rotated. It's changed. The climate has changed from like Nifty Gateway, like the one-on-one arts, or like the open editions and the runs.
Yeah.
Like that's not where a lot of the liquidity is. It's kind of like how we see it shift. So it's not like markets are dead. Say they were like Top Shot. Like there was a lot of
Top
liquidity,
Shot.
and now there's just not as much
Now
because
there's just
people
not
are like,
damn near
oh,
none.
okay, we're here with
Yeah.
it. Now, what people are saying, It's funny. It's looking like a Solana summer.
Solana summer. up
Looking
here.
like a Solana summer.
It is.
So we just had the first project at Solana.
Shout out to
that
Solana.
ever-
Solana's been
Hacker
everywhere,
House
bro.
too.
Yeah, I'm about to say at the
man.
Hacker House, bro. Like when I was in
Man, they're doing
Miami,
some building.
Solana was like all I saw. Like they were outside.
You see what,
I'm
you see
saying?
what
They
happened
were
right by the
outside.
Hacker House had to shut down?
Oh, they
early,
had
little
the bomb threat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. Were you there that day?
Salon,
Were you there that day?
nah,
Yeah, no,
but
I
they
literally
made
was
us
like,
a
why
lot.
would there be a
They
bomb
trying to
threat?
fud it. They trying to fud it.
Somebody just trying to
Hey.
kill the party.
Yo,
Somebody,
it's crazy.
somebody trying to cut the lights off at the
Yeah,
party.
bro,
Like,
but
party's
fucking-
over.
Nah, bro, but
Like, why
like-
y'all hating on Solana?
No, literally, fucking this is the first week of project was #1 from Solana on the
Uh-huh.
actual rankings, and that was interesting. The OK Bears,
Okay, Bears.
they
Yeah.
minted at 1.5 earlier in the week, 1.5 sold, and there's opportunity for a lot of people to get the secondary.
What
like,
is 1.5 soul?
about at that time was probably like a 140
140.
$140, and you got to know.
$140. That's nothing.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's not necessarily any transaction fees or Solana.
Yeah, no
you
gas
pay the
fees or
pennies.
barely gas fees.
So there's a lot of opportunity for like this arbitrage. I'll get
Yeah.
to that, but like basically, so there's definitely a chance to buy them at 10 today. What 4 days after drop, them shits is at 130.
Solana.
So
So
floor. I'm like, yo, that's fucking
shout out to the
crazy,
OK
bro.
Bears.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because on ETH this would happen, but not in the volume that is happening on Solana because obviously you got to pay network fees on ETH. So what people would do sometimes do the wash trading, have multiple wallets, buy their listed at a floor price, and then go into their other wallet and
And
buy
buy it.
that. So I'm
Yeah,
never
so it
losing the
looks
bread,
like-
but
yeah.
yo, that traction's
But it
going.
looks like the
Entice
traction's
more
happening.
speculative money to come in the market. In Solana, there is no fees, so people
so
are
people can
going
do that.
crazy
Yeah.
with that game.
Well, then
And
the
then
thing
people are
is,
like,
like,
"Oh,
then what's
bet,
the
bet, bet."
fucking? Then
So
is
then-
there actual value there?
Oh, so this is
If,
the thing.
if that's what's happening, then like, if I go and buy an OK Bear, am I gonna get a return?
So
on my
what
investment?
happens is like, well, I mean, yeah,
You know what I
keeps
mean?
on top- like,
You know what I mean? If
no,
niggas are
right,
just
I
buying
mean,
it from each other,
should be on some real posinomic shit, but at the same time too, it's like I guess you're trying to get to the point where you're like, yo, we can't even account for all this other money. So it's like I know, like you could be like there could be big wash traders, but you're like, yo, a lot of people actually bought it, so maybe it sustains itself. And I'm not saying that that was the intent of the project. It might very well be like, yo, there's some real alpha, like or what we're doing here is interesting or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But to your point, no, a lot of shit's actually burn and die, and it's a matter of getting in first and exiting first, and then
Yeah.
people are gonna buy your exit back. They're like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm up," and you're like, "Fool,
yeah.
no, this is the
Because
this is the
when
this
I
is the
look at
exit
some
price right here."
yeah, because the thing is like, I definitely saw like the only reason I know about OK Bears is because of the publicity it's been getting because of all that traction it's been getting. You know what I'm saying? I guess the thing that I didn't consider that I'm now considering as I hear what you're talking about is like, okay, if I'm trying to buy into an NFT project for the sake of flipping and getting a return on my investment, is that even possible if like everybody's just buying it from wallets that they already own? Like is like a random person actually going in there and buying
I mean, yeah,
something that's at the floor price from somebody else?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there has to be,
No,
if, like with
yeah.
all the traction.
You
It
just
can't
gotta
be
be-
just everybody
No,
buying
you
joints
just
from
gotta-
themselves.
You just
But
gotta be, you gotta just be there. You gotta just be right there. Like if you don't got the white
you gotta be
list,
tapped
if
in.
you can't get the mid price, then you need to buy it immediately on secondary. Then if you don't, then you were late. You're late.
You know what's funny
It's
too?
very easy to be late.
There's
That's
another
basically what it
one more thing about that is like the timing of when in which you buy these NFTs is interesting to me. I was scouting a couple of joints a couple of weeks ago, and I peeped that right after the mint price, sometimes there's a little bit of a dip. You know what I'm saying?
means.
So
Yeah,
like,
that shit's nasty.
you have you
Sucks.
noticed that?
Yes.
I mean,
whack,
from a standpoint of like,
Whack
you can
as
wait for the
fuck.
mint, you can
whack as fuck.
you can wait for the mint,
Dumb.
you can wait for the
Rug.
dip to kind of happen, and then
Rug.
you can buy right there.
Soft rug.
Soft rug.
Called soft.
Those are rug
Is
vibes.
this softly rugging on me?
Well, what's happening?
Why?
Because like
I
I'm
don't
looking at
know.
it.
I don't
well,
know what's
because I'm
happening.
looking at it. I'm looking at it like, okay, I could buy the joint at like give me a few maybe a day after it mints or 2 days after it mints. I can buy it at a lower price than the mint price.
It'd be
and then-
those projects that no nigga, you should have bought it at mint. It's never coming back. It'd be those projects.
No. I've seen joints come. That's what I'm saying. I've seen joints come back. That's what I'm talking about.
But
Like-
then, but they come back. Do they really go though?
I mean, they don't go, but like a lot of
don't
projects
really
don't
go.
go.
They
You
don't
know what I'm
really
saying?
go,
Like we're
man.
like all the projects that we name are like joints that we're naming out of billions of projects out there. You know what I'm saying?
Projects that
Like
go
so
might-
most projects don't go.
This is the thing. Projects that go might just take time to pop, but they do not be going under their mint like that. Like under mint is not good vibes. That's like, yo, bro, this was what you did for your pre-sale. Like this
Yeah.
is what you enabled them to get it for.
Mhm.
If that shit starts dipping a couple days after that at
People
the
are
pre-sale
mad.
price,
People
it's
that
like,
bought at the
yo,
mint price
people are
upset.
selling this shit. They are selling it,
And that's the
They're
thing.
selling
Like
it.
and that's the thing that I hate.
And
I
that's
hate
when you know
people,
it's hype.
I
Hype
feel
is
like
bad,
the
bro. Hype
community
is
needs
not
to
good.
come together and be like, guys, we cannot just like continue to drop the floor price. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know, like
Yeah.
why sell this joint for less than you bought
This is-
you
this
mentioned
is-
it for?
this is what
Why
I
do
mean,
that?
but
Like
this is
who
what
does
it
that
means.
benefit? Out of all the holders, you're dicking us.
That
You know
means
what I'm saying?
that means you're using hype as hype is your main real end. Like obviously everybody needs some hype, but if hype is your main bread and butter, that means you have a lot of people here in your community. Like yeah, community.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we want to make money. Like that's
Yeah,
you
no,
hyped
that's how I
it.
feel.
You hyped it. So like we're trying to make money. So
So
in
you're
the
dumping
minute-
it when it's not like
Bro,
you're not
bro.
even getting back your investment.
Bro,
Why are you
bro,
dumping?
this is the
Like why
thing,
don't you
bro.
just
We
wait?
have- look, the only thing I can say to that is you know how rational people be in traditional markets. This is
Yeah.
fucking images, bro, and
Yeah.
JPEGs.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta know people are already off some vibes with it.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, it doesn't feel good. Like,
I
people,
don't like this.
everybody will be like, actually, I don't like this
Yeah.
either. Like, why didn't it pump?
Yeah.
It's been 2-3 days.
Yeah.
It's half the bid price.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Because
Yeah.
guess what? There's another project that actually looks more
And
promising.
then you're
I'm so-
thinking, you're thinking, how
Bro.
low can this go?
people are just moving the money. Like a lot of times, it's not even like, boom, I'm leaving NFTs. It's like, yo, get me out of here. Like
and then go somewhere else. Let me go somewhere else.
that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I
You know
hear
what I'm
that.
saying?
I hear that, man.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the rest of that. This weekend, man, I'm gonna get into these games. Well, I guess there's no NBA tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
because
Just hit
all the teams.
hit
all
back
the-
in the
yeah.
DMs. You see that he not doing no
Oh,
chats
yeah.
or live.
You know what's
joints? I don't
funny?
think so.
I
so
literally was like, yo,
hit him
like
for the plays.
I'm not mad at giving out plays. If people are interested in the plays that I'm making, like I said, my MLB record this week has been 6-3. It's actually 7-3. I didn't play a play that I was looking at last night. I didn't like get it in, but it did hit. So you know what I'm saying? I'm saying my record 7-3. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm getting I'm here, man. I'm here. Like I'm making a
not
second
going
income.
nowhere.
I'm making another income off of
That's
betting,
cool.
bro. Like
That's
that's just
cool.
what's happening.
That's
So
definitely
it's
cool.
lit. I'm definitely down to give up my plays. Just DM me. I got a new Instagram for me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Mech.show. So you can follow me there. And then also follow ItsNation.com. I'm still there as well.
Yes, sir.
So you know what I'm saying? If you're interested in the plays that I'm making for baseball this weekend, you know what I'm saying? Just DM me. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. I'll give those out. I gotta like get into the games later today. I haven't done that yet. But other than that, like that's kind of what I'm on this weekend. What are you on this weekend?
What am I on? Just wrapping up some edits and shit like that. Regular
For
weekend,
sure.
back in town. So just
For
chilling.
sure. And again, guys, subscribe to us on
Yeah,
YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We got our
sure.
own YouTube page for early.
check that shit
You know
out.
what I'm saying? It's early the morning show on YouTube. Just search that. I think we have to get to a certain amount of subscribers before we can like change our URL to be something easy like YouTube/early or something. But so
We gonna
help us get
on-
there. Y'all gotta help us out there. We can't do that ourselves.
Load
You know what I'm
up.
saying? We can't
Load it
subscribe
up.
to ourselves. So go to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on Twitter, go to YouTube. And I think, like even that's gonna be the only place you can watch the show. You know what I'm saying? Like starting next week.
Spotify, man.
You can listen to the show on Spotify, and I think Spotify does video now too. So we gotta figure out how to get our video, get
For
this
sure.
on Spotify. So that's gonna come soon. But yeah, so people are used to watching this on ItsNation TV. We usually stream there as well at the YouTube channel. But yeah, we're gonna just stream to early the morning show YouTube. So catch us there. Make sure you subscribe there. Help us get to 1,000 followers. And yeah, man, that's it for us today.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Glad to be back.
Other
We
than
gonna
that,
see.
yeah, great to be back.
Yeah,
And everybody have a great weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of April. what I'm saying? We're stepping into May,
You know?
stepping into the summer
April
months. You know what I'm
showers bring
saying?
May flowers. Let's go, man. You know
I
the
feel like with the
vibes.
whole way that the climate works now, there is no April
Ah,
showers,
man.
May flowers. It's like everything happens
crazy,
every month.
bipolar,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Like you might get snow. Like
bipolar.
every month is free game for every
Yeah.
part of weather or
That's
every type of
facts.
weather.
That's
But
facts.
either way, man, everybody enjoy the weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.
Early.
Early.